Hello, everyone. Welcome to Online Seller UK podcast. My name is Prabhat, founder at Online Seller UK, and we've been doing this series of Amazon-related podcasts for some time. So today I've got Martin with me. Martin is Amazon vendor expert, and we'll be talking about how to manage your cross-channel or cross-channel prices as a 1P vendor. So Martin, welcome to our podcast.
Hi, Prabhat. Thanks for having me. And it's my pleasure to be with you today.
Excellent. So Martin, I think why don't you introduce yourself, your company and what it does, and we can dive into the topic.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So hi everyone. My name is Martin Heube. I'm originally from Germany, as you can probably tell by my accent, but I currently do live and work in London. And for the five past years, I worked as a senior category buyer at Amazon myself before I founded my own strategy consultancy called Consultors that helps first-party vendors selling on Amazon to raise their profit margins with and on the channel of Amazon. And today I brought a topic that may be interesting not only for first-party brands, but also third-party sellers. It is around how to profitably manage Amazon and integrate it into your cross-channel price management as well, which I think is for many senior decision makers across the world currently a hot topic, and hope it will provide a little bit of value to your listeners.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, as you said, the prices is going to be a key for everything, really. So you mentioned about cross-channel. Do you want to give a little bit definition of what you exactly mean about cross-channel management?
Sure, 100%. I mean, Amazon is always just integrating into your wider distribution channel management, right? So there may be some of you who are just selling on Amazon, but the matter of the fact is that as soon as you have your own online store, or if you're selling also to another party that is involved, whether this is a distributor or a wholesaler, you're basically creating different channels of sales that you have to manage. And Amazon follows very clearly a price follower strategy where they try to match the best price that is available in the market at platforms or shops online that are seen as very relevant for end customers. And this creates obviously some kind of channel conflicts, because if you're selling to multiple partners and distribution partners, then pricing is obviously at their prerogative, which means that they can price your products however they want, which then brings the challenge up that Amazon is happily following that price point and then pressures your margins even further, because what they're doing is they're not setting their own prices manually. They are letting an algorithm scrape the World Wide Web and then take a look at, okay, where is the product priced elsewhere, or how is the product priced elsewhere, which can really cause some friction when you're working with multiple of your distribution partners.
Okay, that's a good point. So I know some people who sell on their website, and well, many people, most of the people sell on the website, and also third party. And when Amazon approaches them to sell their products as a vendor, obviously there is a need of sending them the cost of the product. So a lot of people don't give the same cost as they give the same cost to other vendors. You know, for Amazon, they provide a different sort of cost level. So do you want to pinpoint some strategy on that as well, what we need to consider while sending cost to Amazon?
Yeah, sure. It depends a little bit on your setup, right, that you're having with other of your customers. I think a lot of brands, they're making it dependent on the volume, and they give volume incentive rebates on their cost price base. And then Amazon comes in, they don't have any volume. However, they want to have the best price possible, because towards the end customer, they are also following the market, which is typically the price point that is reflected by the largest Walmarts and Tesco's of the world that drive much different volume than Amazon at that point in time. And this creates already friction, because of course Amazon wants to make a certain margin in order to drive your products on the marketplace. And this is where it becomes really interesting, because while other distribution partners of yours are typically retailers that have a certain set of terms available, Amazon wants to have these terms as well, but they don't see themselves necessarily as a retailer. They see themselves as a marketplace that connects existing demand in the world with you as a supplier who provides the products for that. And I think a lot of brands are mixing that a little bit up, because while it appears that Amazon is kind of a retailer that needs retail marketing terms in order to grow your business, you as a seller and you as a vendor are actually in the position and in the role of growing your market segment share yourself, while Amazon is just providing you the platform and the marketplace in doing that successfully. And I think this is where it becomes quite tricky, because if you're taking a look at your cost price, then you need to factor all of these additional costs that you have with Amazon into account, and it becomes less of a discussion around how big is Amazon today, simply because you as the brand, it's your job to grow your business on Amazon. It's not necessarily Amazon's job. They just connect the customers with whatever demand is out there with your brand. And I think you shouldn't give obviously the best cost price to Amazon right from the start, but you should give Amazon a cost price that allows them to list your products, so that you're not becoming subject to what they call an ASIN that cannot realize any profit. They have the abbreviation of CREP for that, which stands for the delisting of an item. So you need to give them enough margins to keep the product as part of their portfolio when you're a vendor. But at the same time, you also need to set aside enough margin on your end to invest that budget into things like Amazon advertising, where you get a predictable return on investment as part of the wider strategy that you follow in Amazon. So again, I mean, if we summarize it, the cost price decision is not so much dependent on Amazon on their volume, or at least I would recommend and advise not to make it dependent on the current business size, but rather on where is your money, so where's the dollar spent best with the highest return, and typically that is in Amazon advertising. Well, you need to give Amazon kind of a competitive cost price to be just able to actually keep and maintain your products as part of their portfolio.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, as you know, a lot of times the problem is once you give the cost in a year, the next day if you try to change the cost, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, exactly. And in this environment of like cost inflations and price inflations for end customers, you need to be careful around that, right? Because even when it comes to deals, I mean, today happens to be Black Friday when we record this episode, right? Yeah. And when you compare the products that you've bought last year on Black Friday versus the same product this year, you will also see that the prices that Amazon shows are not as aggressive anymore. And for many customers, this is already the strongest signal that, what they have to spend on the marketplace is on a very different level, and may also like level down the joy they get out of it, because also Amazon obviously wants to maintain their margins. And I think these cost discussions with Amazon on a first party base will become more and more prevalent in the next couple of months, where we still see that raw material prices, shipping costs are still on the rise and are predicted to be further rising.
Yeah, so I'll ask you $1 million question. How to be profitable with Amazon vendor account?
Yeah, it's the question that probably most of you have in mind right now. And look, there is no magic formula for that, but I think there are a couple of points and things you can think of and do and execute in order to become more profitable with Amazon on an incremental manner, because it is a process. And what I would always recommend, without knowing the individual details of anyone's or everyone's business, is that you should always make a decision on setting up a dedicated Amazon selection strategy. So the decision is the following: do you want to list all of your selection on Amazon, or are you rather listing a selective part of your portfolio? So you only list products that are accretive for you in your wider margin mix. And it also depends on where do you sell these products. I'll give you an easy example. If you know that you list a product and it will primarily being sold with discounters like Aldi, Lidl, and the likes, then it will probably not make sense to have this product available on Amazon, even though Amazon pushes every vendor to list their entire product portfolio. So having a margin forecast before listing the item, by talking to your marketing teams and product development teams for which kind of customers these products have been developed, is absolutely crucial to make then a decision on whether they will be set up for success or failure on Amazon in the first place before you list that. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to go now into your portfolio and delist all of the products that are dilutive in your overall account. But it means that going forward, whenever you list new products, whenever you have some exclusive products that you're going to launch with Amazon, you need to make a very sensitive call around, do you really list everything? Or do you realize that you as a brand on Amazon become the gatekeeper to Amazon's growth as well by deciding on which products to list and which products not to list? which then brings you in the role of the gatekeeper to your own profit margins, and will help you at least to incrementally make sounder and better decisions around that.
Excellent. That's very sound advice. I'm sure the listeners will appreciate that. So I think we can wrap up. Is there anything else you want to add before we close today, Martin?
Yeah, I mean, again, thanks for having me, Prabhat. It was my pleasure. I think overall, it's always an interesting environment right now to sell on Amazon. So define your Amazon portfolio, drive advertising spend and price promotion spend towards products that make sense to you, not necessarily to what only makes sense to Amazon and what a vendor manager or also brand specialist recommends you to do. And also review whom you're serving as part of your wider distribution channel mix, and really obsess about that. And you will see that over time, you will have the success in terms of your profit margin, and you will be able to increase it on a more sustainable basis.
Excellent. So if somebody is to get in touch with you, Martin, where's the best place to get in touch?
Best place is typically on LinkedIn. You find me under Martin Heube, that is Heubel. And yeah, simply add me to your network, reach out, and I'm happy to have a coffee chat via Zoom, or if you're around in London and the guidelines allow it, also in person.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for your time, Martin, and all the best. Speak to you soon.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Bye.